What's going on, guys? Welcome to the final gear review. Today we're going to be doing a two-part review. The first review that you're watching right now is going to be on the CrossBreed Holster, and then the second review is actually going to be a review of the Glock 22 Gen 4 pistol. This is a 40 caliber pistol. We're going to go over what they've changed from the Gen 3 to the Gen 4. There's some small changes that will affect lefties, and there's some changes that affect everybody. But we're going to go over that in a different video. In this video, we're going to talk about the benefits of this holster versus an outside the waistband or something such as a Black Hawk holster, which goes on your belt. To get in, just a brief overview of inside the waistband holsters. There's a lot of inside the waistband holsters out there, so don't take this video as, you know, it's a one size fits all. You need to find what fits for you the best. I know there's a holster, I believe Travis Haley makes it, called the Incog, that gets great reviews. People talk about it a lot. I personally wasn't a fan of that just because of how close together your clips were. I just felt that it put a lot more weight and pressure on one spot on the belt versus this CrossBreed holster, which spread it out a little bit more. After we go over what the setup I have here and what the options are for your setup, I'm going to go ahead and cut away. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to show you guys what the printing looks like and how well it conceals the firearm. Now, they have several different types of CrossBreed holsters. They have inside the waistband and outside the waistband holsters, but we're going to focus on inside the waistband today. When it comes to the inside the waistband holsters, they have 4 different inside the waistband holsters. They have a quick clip, which is a very small, it's almost like just about this wide, and it's just big enough for a one clip, and a very small, short version of this Kydex type plastic. It's tiny, really small. Then they have the micro clip, which is the same idea, but it's a little bit bigger. Then you come to the mini tuck. The mini tuck is the same length as this, except for they've cut this bottom part right here. They've cut this out, so it almost appears as if not only is this part shorter and it's a higher cut, but they've cut this in quite a bit. It almost resembles the combat cut, which I'm going to go over here in a bit, of the SuperTuck. But the next version we come to is the SuperTuck. Now this is the SuperTuck Deluxe. Okay, this is their biggest, largest carrying inside the waistband holster. Now, when you get this, you have several different options. Of course, you've got a left or right hand draw. Now, starting price on this is $69.75 for this holster. Now, changing left and right hand isn't going to change your price at all. Now, where you start getting into a price change is when you come to the color and type of leather. Now, you can get it for the price of $69.75. That is a cowhide black leather. And then if you add $15, you get a horsehide natural. Now, this is the horsehide natural. I did a lot of research finding out what are the benefits of that $15 extra, and what I came to find is this horsehide is more resilient to moisture. Being that this is inside your waistband, parts of this are gonna be up against your skin. It's gonna, you know, you've got oil on your skin. I don't care how much you shower. There's oil on your skin. You sweat. There's dirt and grime, and this is just better suited to deal with that, and you tend to get longer wear life on this, and it just stays more comfortable. Now, I haven't owned the cowhide, but I can tell you that if that is the difference, this is worth it. That 15 bucks is worth it, because You know, this doesn't get dirty, it doesn't start smelling, it doesn't get uncomfortable, whether I'm running, sitting, if it's hot out, if it's cold out. This does a great job of just being there, but at the same time not being there, if that makes any sense. There are times where I forget I'm even wearing this. Now, that, like I said, that adds 15 bucks. So that brings the total of this this holster up 15 bucks. Now the next option you have is something called combat cut. I'm sorry, let me step back real quick. If you were to go with just the horsehide natural, that brings this item to $84.75. Now the next option you got, which adds money, is something called combat cut, okay? Now combat cut, what that is they take this area right here and they cut it out. So, because what's going to happen is, let me show you the, put the gun in the holster here and you might get a better idea. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that this firearm is unloaded. Remember, firearm safety, do a visual and a physical inspection before you do anything with the firearm, because you don't want an accidental discharge or a negligent discharge. But it is empty. I have checked it. So when the firearm is in here, if you look at this part of the firearm is extended out past here, but the way this, to tell you, this is not the combat cut. So the way this sits is this is against your body, and for the majority of the time, unless you're wearing this really far up on your belt or almost in like an appendix style carry, this is not even going to be on your body. It's not going to be touching your body. It extends out past your hip and just kind of extends backwards. Now if you twist, you might have this come in contact with your skin. Now the problem with this is, while it's more comfortable to wear, it doesn't allow you, if you see that your thumb is in the way, or I'm sorry, this back part's in the way of your thumb, so getting a good grip, you can see the webbing of my hand is hitting the edge right up here. Getting a really solid grip, you don't get into that good grip until right about there. So it's in your way, but it's more comfortable. Now the combat grip, what they do is they cut this out, and that allows you to get your hand all the way up there. You get that real good grip, and it's not in the way. Now the drawback to it is, with this portion cut out, you now have a portion of the gun that's in contact with your skin. Now we'll go over it more, this new grip and texture in the Glock 22 Gen 4, but all firearms have some sort of texture or you know, gripping here, and this rubs against your skin. You can hear it. I mean, you can see my skin rubbing off on that. Imagine sitting all day and this rubbing against your skin. It could get a little uncomfortable, and it'd probably rub your skin raw. Now I've heard different things people have done to combat that, but in all honesty, for me, that small interference with my grip when I'm drawing the firearm isn't worth the discomfort or the $750 that you have to pay if you want it to be a combat cut holster. It's just not worth it for me, and honestly I haven't had any problem with any of my training where I found I couldn't get the gun out in a timely manner and get up for target acquisition quickly. So you know, it's up to you, it's a personal preference, but I didn't find any reason to go with the combat cut. Now if you added the combat cut to this, that brings your total to $92.25. So this is not by any means a cheap holster. Now these holsters are as we mentioned, made of leather. They're all handmade. The delivery time on these is quite a while because they make these all by hand. Now, you ask, you know, why do I want to pay $92 for a holster when I can go down to my local gun store and get a Kydex holster that cost me 25 bucks or whatever they may cost now, and just wear that? it comes down to comfort, it comes down to security, it comes down to durability. And then it also, to be honest with you, it comes down to craftsmanship and you know, customer service. This thing is fully customizable with the cant, with the depth of carry, and it just gives you options that you don't get with those cheap Kydex holsters. So let's start first by going over these clips. Now, there's 3 different types of clips. They've got, these are the full clips. They go over the top of the belt. I'll show you here when I put it on. And they're not meant to, you know, be a concealment clip or anything like that. You can still see these on your belt, and if somebody's really paying attention and they're smart, they're gonna see that and they're gonna know he's got a holster on. Now these clips can be attached, as you see here. There's 4 different holes on each side. Now, as you move these, let's see, as you move these up, you get a much deeper carry. The gun rides lower in your belt and less firearms exposed above the waistline. If you move it down, this whole thing's gonna ride up and you're gonna have more gun exposed. So, you know, however you want this to ride, you can make it that way. Now, as you see, this has a tilted look to it. Let's go ahead and put the firearm in here. As you see, if you look at that, it's tilted. Now, you can take these clips and you can move maybe one of them up and one of them down, and what that's going to do is that's going to tilt the gun however you want it. So if you wear your gun, you know, far back, if it's almost at a 6 o'clock position on your belt or on your waistline, you can tilt this really far and get a really angled draw. And then these also swivel, so I mean, if you need to swivel them to accommodate, you can do that. So you can really customize this for how you want. Now let's go into how this arrives and the condition it's in. I know when I got this, I turned this over and I looked at this and I ran my hand. I go, wow, that is going to be super uncomfortable because it was raised. There were, if you can, I mean, I don't really know how to tell you because I mean, mine's been worn so much, but if you buy one, you'll know when you feel it, you're going to think, wow, that's going to be uncomfortable. But as you can see, this is really wore down. It gets really smooth and it gets really comfortable. So if you guys buy one of these, don't freak out when you get it out and you run your hand over it and go, wow, why in the world did I buy this? That is going to be uncomfortable, because it's not. It wears down after about a month of wearing and it just feels fantastic. Now when you get it, it's going to be flat. It'll be as flat as a book. Now if you look at mine, and mine, mind you, has been sitting like this for about 2 weeks because I've been carrying outside the waistband a lot because I've been doing a lot of training. So mine is kind of flattened out a little bit. But I mean, even looking at it, you can see it's conformed to my body. It conforms to your body. You can see right here especially, this is where it hits the little my joint between my hip and my leg, so that's always getting pushed out as I sit down. And you can see that's, I mean, it's molded to my body, which makes it extremely comfortable. Once you find a carrying position that works for you, both concealment and drawing wise, it conforms to your body and you'll forget you're even wearing it. Now, let's go over the different types of clips they've got. And I'll try to do my best to explain this to you guys because I never have had a reason to buy any different clips for this. But these clips you see right here that are on here are what are called the snap lock clips. They fully go over the belt and they provide security both down and up. So as you're drawing, you don't have to worry about the holster ripping off your belt. But as I said, they do show over the top of your belt and they can be a dead giveaway to somebody who's observant that you're carrying a firearm. The next level of concealment is what's called the J-hook. Now imagine the J-hook is it goes on the back side of the belt. So imagine your belt went on top here. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Imagine that your belt came over the top here, and then this was extended up, and then there's Velcro there. Now, only piece you're gonna see is a little piece of metal right here, and that gives some better concealment, but there's still metal there. But if you're, it also prevents the holster from drawing out of your pants when you're drawing the gun, because it's got that hook that hooks on the bottom of your belt. Now, if you really want to go, you know, incognito, deep cover, don't want any sign that you're carrying a firearm, they've got what's called the V-clip. Now, the V-clip is pretty much, just imagine this clip right here, and it's cut off right here. The belt goes over the top. On this front side, there's Velcro, and then you'd have to wear a belt that's got Velcro on the back side, and this just basically Velcros to the belt. Now, the drawback to that is the only thing that's securing this to you from being drawn up as you draw a weapon, if you happen to get your hand here and you pull, the only thing keeping this whole thing from coming out of your waistline is going to be a piece of Velcro. So, I mean, keep that in mind. If you guys feel you need to have a deep cover type holster, all you got is Velcro if you get those V-clips. But we're going to go ahead and cut away here, guys. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So I'll be back with you in a minute here. Alright, guys. Here we are. I wore a bright orange shirt for you so that you could see, you know, it would accentuate any printing that the firearm might have. As you can see, I've got it on right now. I mean, you can't really tell where the firearm is. It does a fantastic job of concealing the firearm. Now, as you move your body around, you're always going to get some printing, as you can see right there, from the firearm, and this is where it's at right there. So, I mean, you're never going to find something unless you're wearing, you know, it on your ankle, or if you're wearing it, that's actually going to be about it. If you wear it on your ankle, that's the only time you're going to be able to wear a firearm and it not have any printing. And then you're going to have a very small, low-capacity firearm. So like I said, I mean, this firearm, as you can see, that's right about where I carry mine. I carry mine, my hip's right about here. I carry just behind my hip. And as you can see, the combat cut here, or I'm sorry, the lack of combat cut, there's no contact here with my skin. I can run my hand behind there, so that doesn't rub me raw. And then you can get out and you can draw out. Now I've found, as you see, I put my thumb on top here. I found that that's the most effective way when you don't have the combat cut, to get it out, and then you can just run your thumb down. And with some practice, I mean, that becomes second nature. Now reholstering is the other thing. This holster is very easy to reholster. If you line it up right, you can get the top of that Kydex plastic right on the belt line. And that allows you to have a good clean reholster without having to worry about snagging, you know, when you're reholstering the firearm. Now, as you can hear, retention-wise, it's got good retention. It's not going anywhere. I'm shaking my whole house, jumping up and down, but it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's got a very good audible out click and a very good audible in click. Alright guys, here we are. We're going to finish up here, but a few more things I wanted to go over with you guys on this holster. All their holsters have a lifetime warranty for if anything ever happens to it. They're either going to replace it or they're going to repair it, assuming that it fails under normal use. Also, you've got 2 weeks when you receive this holster to try it out according to their website. If in those 2 weeks you don't like it, you can send it back and they'll refund your money, which is fantastic. I don't know many places that are willing to do that and have that much faith in their product. Now, you have some options, briefly to go into this. They make inside the waistband mag carriers. Now, I don't own one. I've never had any. I don't find the need to carry an extra magazine with me. I'm not planning on going to war. The rounds inside my Glock 22 are more than enough. If I need more than that, I've got a problem. And everyone else around me has a problem because, you know, shit's hit the fan, obviously. You better start finding things to throw at that point. But overall, guys, this is a fantastic firearm. Or, I'm sorry, firearm comes next. This is a fantastic holster. I mean, you can see, I mean, it takes on a life of its own. I mean, this just becomes yours. Unlike a total Kydex holster that everyone's the same. It's a one size fits all. There's no character to it. I mean, this has character. You can see where, I mean, it's imprinted the 22 and then a little bit of the Glock logo and the mag release, and it's just got a life of its own. And I just don't know how to express there's just something special about a holster like this versus, you know, a Kydex holster. So I would recommend it, guys. I mean, try one of these out. You've got nothing to lose. Order it, try it for 2 weeks. You don't like it, send it back. But I guarantee you guys, you're gonna like this holster. It's super comfortable. Now, to give you guys an idea on shipping time on these, there is a substantial delay in getting these since they do make these all by hand. On their website, today is September 11th. They are currently shipping orders made July 8th. So that gives you an idea of how back ordered they are. These are so popular and they make these by hand, so they do have a good back order. So I mean, that in itself tells me something about the quality. I mean, they're not just selling out, buying machines and just stamp pressing all this. They're really doing it by hand and putting their heart into this. I mean, they've got my name here and they've got some sort of number, and I mean, someone's actually put their hand on this and cut this just for me. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask down in the comment section. I'll get right back to you guys. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next review.